Proceedings in the hearing into the kidnapping and trafficking case of 6-year-old Joshlin Smith have been adjourned for the day in Saldanha Bay. Earlier, a former accused revealing that the person who allegedly bought the little girl wanted her eyes and skin. Lourentia Lombard and Joshlin Smith's aunt, Mickeyla Daniels, both giving evidence today. Nasiphi Same is there for us, and she joins us for the latest. And let's just warn you that some of the details you are about to hear may be very graphic and upsetting. Nasiphi, good evening to you. Let's start with some clarification here, Nasiphi. Last week, we heard testimony suggesting that Joshlin Smith was somehow on a ship in a container headed toward West Africa. And this is someone who was telling her mother this. Today, it's a different story of a sangoma that wanted to buy Joshlin Smith for her eyes and skin. Is that testimony from the same person?
It is not, Xoli. If you remember last week, we had a long list of witnesses that took to the stand, an explosive week, but also a very emotionally charged week where we got to see an insight into the mother, Mickeyla Smith. As we know that she's got 3 children, or she has 3 children. And that testimony was by the grade 1 teacher of Joshlin Smith. If you remember, she was 6 at the time, turning 7 later that year of 2024, and had only been a grade 1 pupil at the Dyersville Primary School for just under a month when she disappeared. And it was days after her disappearance that this confession, or rather the mother making, confiding in the teacher that Joshlin was on her way to West Africa inside a container in a vessel, or in a ship rather. And that was the testimony by the teacher last week. Following her testimony, it was another explosive one from Stephen Kutsia, who said that the mother, Mickeyla Smith, had communicated to him her plan to sell her children for 20,000 rand, and predicted that come January or February, Middle Post will be turned into a movie scene, and that there'll be people and cars searching for her or them, and they would be far gone. But today, the testimony by Lourentia Lombard was adding adding and painting a clearer picture to the testimony that she gave the Western Cape High Court sitting in Saldanha Bay last week, that the mother had sold Joshlin for 20,000 rand to a sangoma. And today we heard the reasons for that particular sale, as Lourentia Lombard said, while they were in the house alone once again, the mother confided in her that she had sold her child for, or rather the person buying Joshlin was for, or rather the reason was to buy Joshlin for her eyes and skin. And that is the explosive testimony we heard from Lourentia Lombard this morning, Xoli. And you do mention that the sister of Mickeyla Smith, Mickeyla Daniels, also took to the stand to give her testimony. And she had said that at the time they were communicating via social media platforms, Facebook to be specific. And that was a reason because Kelly at the time was using a lot of numbers and did not have a cell phone for long periods of time. And she was saying that just about a week after the disappearance of Joshlin, she received a very strange message from Kelly that she believed that her child was still in the Saldanha area at an informal settlement, and said that she was being paid to ensure that she does not reveal who this individual is, but also added that this person was trying to sell Joshlin. However, at that particular moment or that time or that period, it was very difficult to do so, as we know that following the news of Joshlin's disappearance, the community, including law enforcement agencies, banded together searching for her. So one would assume that that would be what Lourentia Lombard was referring to.
It's a terrible story, this, but those details, as they continue to come, frightening indeed. Nasiphi Same live for us in Saldanha Bay, having attended that court.